This video will hopefully help you use the grammar and vocabulary which we have learned up to this point. Specifically, we're going to try and use this video to help you synthesize more complicated sentences in Georgian. We've briefly mentioned Georgian sentence structures previously, but let's take a deeper look at how Georgian sentences are formed. We will examine the grammar of 5 sentences of varying complexity. Take a look at the following sentence. Chemi dedis megobari rusul literaturas universitetshi stsavlobs, which translates as, my mother's friend studies Russian literature at a or the university. The first thing to notice is that the subject, friend, is at the front of the sentence, while its modifiers, my mother's, which are in the genitive case, precede it. After that comes the direct object, Russian literature, which is in the dative case, followed by the prepositional phrase at a or the university, and finally ending the sentence with the verb studies. This is a typical sentence structure in Georgian. For a simpler sentence, the word order is typically subject, object, verb. Look at this sentence. Me imerul khachapurs gavakatem. I will make imeruli khachapuri. The subject I is in the nominative case. The direct object, which is the thing which the subject is acting upon, is imeruli khachapuri, and as such is in the dative case. The verb ends the sentence. If you're using a simple sentence such as this, try to stick with this word structure. Here's a slightly more complex sentence. Televi kachetis qvelaze didi kalaki aris. Televi is Kacheti's largest city. This sentence could also be written as Kachetis qvelaze didi kalaki Televi aris, or Kachetis qvelaze didi kalaki aris Televi, both of which translate as Kacheti's largest city is Televi. Notice how the only thing which changed is the position of aris and Televi. A fourth way to say this is Televi qvelaze didi kalaki Kacheti aris. Televi is the largest city in Kacheti. The first sentence has the subject Televi heading the sentence. The second and third sentences have the possessive noun Kachetis heading the sentence, although the placement of the verb and subject change. The forms of these two sentences are very common in Georgian. The fourth variant uses a prepositional phrase, Kacheti, in Kacheti. Here's another example. Sakartvelos dedakalakshi bevri istoriuli shenoba aris. In the capital of Georgia are many historic buildings. In this sentence, the subject is building, and its modifiers, many historic, are in the nominative case as well. Notice how, unlike English, the prepositional phrase in the capital comes after the noun Georgia. This is common in Georgian. Finally, notice how the verb goes at the end of the sentence. Let's examine a second complex sentence. Sakartvelo aris patara kvekana romelits shavi zღვის აღმოსავლეთ სანაპიროზე მდებარეობს. Georgia is a small country which is located on the eastern coast of the Black Sea. Georgia is the subject of the sentence, and so it is in the nominative case. Its modifiers, small country, are therefore also in the nominative case. Since this is a compound sentence joined by the pronoun which, the verb is goes between the subject and its modifiers, as it would in its English counterpart. Following the word which is Black Sea, which is in the genitive case because we are discussing its eastern coast. Notice how Black Sea is in the genitive case in Georgian as it is in English. Eastern coast is in the dative case because it uses the dative suffix ze, meaning on. Finally, it's the second verb, located, which ends the sentence of the second clause. One thing to note is that word order typically follows a subject-object-verb form. However, this isn't always the case, as that there aren't any formal rules regarding word order. The placement of the verb in a sentence can change depending on what you want to emphasize. In a simple sentence, such as, Nodar lives in Guldani, you could either say, Nodar Guldanshi Tskovrops, and Nodar Tskovrops Guldanshi. The verb can go before or after the prepositional phrase in Guldani. However, the subject, Nodar, should still start the sentence. To say, Ketavan does not like cheese, you could say, Ketavan gwely ar most sons, and Ketavan ar most sons gwely. If you want to practice forming sentences in Georgian, here's a few tips that we think might help you. First, focus more on suffixes, tenses, and verb conjugation rather than word order. Second, when in doubt, use a subject-object-verb format or a subject-verb-object format. Both are generally acceptable. Third, read. Read in Georgian. If you don't have access to Georgian books, read Wikipedia in Georgian. Read Georgian news. It might not be your literature of choice, but it will help expose you to Georgian grammar and vocabulary. Look up words you don't recognize and pay attention to grammar structures. Fourth, learn through practice, and this includes making mistakes. After all, mistakes are inevitable, but that's a part of learning. We hope that this video helps you learn how to make sentences in Georgian. For more information about Georgia and the Georgian language, visit our website, www.visiting-georgia.com. Thanks for watching.